Today we have only the worthy playing against Fyreslayers versus Beast of Chaos. Deployment is right smack down the middle with 4 objectives on the board here. We've got Fyreslayers deployed on over there. They are taking a Regiment of Renown, as well as having a few in reserve there. Beasts have been deployed here, kind of trying a different little tactic of just having most of it in reserve over here. Beast finished deploying first, so they will go ahead and let Fyreslayers take the first turn. We'll see what the Fyreslayers are able to do. Fyreslayers turn 1. They chose lead the assault for their battle tactic, getting a hero GC within there, as well as another one within there, as these objectives are within the enemy deployment zone. They chose Fiery Determination for their rune, getting 2 inches to their movement. The enhanced effect did not go off. They chose to go ahead and do Molten Blessing for the Forge, getting a +1 to chant. He does have the artifact that lets him re-roll, and he was able to re-roll this guy out on the battlefield. The Molten Inferno came on over, did a couple wounds as well to them, and everybody did heroic leadership during the hero phase. The unit here ran on up. They ran and they moved on up, getting 5 points for the Fyreslayers. Unit of reinforced Ungor Raiders shot it from the board edge into that Rune Master, hitting on 5s, wounding on 4s. They ended up dealing 7 wounds. It's going to be a 4-up save for him. Having 4 go through with a 6-up ward from the Battlesmith. 4 wounds. He has 3 remaining. Charged in. Of course, they dealt 6 mortal wounds, killing 3. Let's see if these guys bounce after dealing only 2 wounds to them. They do. Well, the Fyreslayers counterattacked. The Bullgors all-out defensed, having a 4-up save, negating the -1 from these guys. Ended up making all but 1 of their saves out of 9 dice. If they didn't have that all-out defense, they would have suffered about 14 wounds additionally. Rolled about 7 4s for that. Bullgors did attack back though. We've got a pool of dice for the Fyreslayers on a 4-up for them. 18 of them. We'll count those on up. The Bullgors also did an attack against them. They got it within 2 inches of the Flame Keeper. Ended up dealing 6 wounds to him on a 6-up from him. I just need 1 or else that guy's dead. Got 1. He lives with 1 wound remaining. I'll count up the Fyreslayers dice soon. End of Beast turn 1. At the hero phase, they decided to choose Aid of Wilderness. Able to get a unit on over there and fully within cover, and this unit over here fully within cover with a terrain that is wholly outside their deployment. During the heroic phase, the Beast did heroic recovery as well as heroic leadership. They also did heroic leadership on over here as well. They went ahead and tried to cast the Endless Spell for the Taurus there, but failed it. They did a Ritual of Ruin to give a 6-up ward with this guy on over here, as well as Blood Taunt to move that Magma Draw on over that way. Rolled double 1s, so we only moved 2 inches that way, but it's still opening up enough for the Ungor Raiders to pepper shots into him during the shooting phase. during the charges. These guys charged on in, was able to kill 3 of these guys with their mortal wounds on impact. They went ahead and skedaddled on over here using the Regiment of Renown ability. And these guys came on in, killed a dwarf with the impacts. The dwarves went ahead and did counterattack. Only end up finishing off one of the Bullgors. They're pretty lucky. Bullgors then went ahead and killed another 5 dwarfs in regards to that. The last CP for the dwarves was used to inspire them. And they went ahead and chose to inspire these guys on over here. For Battle Shock, I just have to roll up on the Bullgors. They actually end up losing 1 because they lost 1 before. So, losing another one. The Beast gained that objective on over there, as well as this one. But because there is a GC over here that has not died and is still on 1 more wound remaining, they do not gain that. So they gain 4 points total. Priority roll for turn 2. Looks like beasts are going to be doubling. Boy, this isn't looking good for the Fyreslayers. Beastman turn 2. This guy did heroic recovery. They also did heroic recovery to him on over here when he was in combat. The battle tactic was gaining momentum, and they chose the Flamekeeper over here as the person to kill. We also got, in the hero phase, they moved that Drake back further again, 7 inches, making a pretty big hole there. And he also did the Ritual Ruin to do some mortals to the Cosmic Archers over here. He dealt 3, almost got him down to 1. During the movement phase, some shuffling around ran these guys on up. Moved the Bullgors that were here on up. At the end of the movement phase, because they're Darkwalkers, they moved those archers that were over here over to here. And they also brought in the general with a unit of Bullgors as well. The Bullgors were able to deploy 7 inches away because of his trait, and he was able to deploy 9 inches away as well. With that, these guys split their shots, killing the remaining archer there and giving him 2 wounds. They also, during the charge phase, they all charged on in. Everybody made their charges. Even he did. He ended up rolling a 9. Plus 1 for coming on in is a 10. Then was able to make it on in. They were able to counterattack with these guys here. This guy put in plus 1 to damage on them as well. They were able to kill, they kind of split their shots between the 2 units, killed 4 Bullgors in total, but the Bullgors were able to wipe the floor with the remaining of them, as well as the Battlesmith that was in there. This Bullgor in particular whiffed his shots at that guy, only dealing 2 wounds. Otherwise, he would have been dead too. Old sole survivor there. These guys ended up killing, dealing a bunch of damage to this Doombull and 2 damage to them. And the Doombull was able to come on in and kill the Flamekeep for their battle tactic. They gained 5 points this round. Don't know if Fyreslayers are going to be able to come back after this. Forgot to also mention these 10 Gore came on the battlefield because of the artifact that the general had. He ended up rolling a 2+. They were able to come on the board now instead of next turn. Rune of Fury enhanced effect. Nope. Fyreslayers turn 2. They chose to do heroic recovery on one of their guys. The Beastman chose heroic recovery over there. The other guys chose heroic leadership, didn't work. They went ahead and did eye for an eye for their battle tactic. Chose Rune of Fury to gain a +1 to their attack, to their hit rolls. Did not get the enhanced effect. They did some moving around, moved that one on up, moved those guys on over. They plopped on in. The the three guys in here could not disengage. They did not have enough movement to do it, and neither did the Rune Master here. Unfortunately, though, the Magma Droth, the Rune Father there, he popped everything. He did his Master Rune, he did his Lord of the Lodge. In combat, this one did his as well. They obviously made their charges, and he also popped Berserker, was able to attack the one unit of Bullgors and deal enough wounds to them to leave one, and then the other unit of Bullgors, when they attacked back, only ended up doing 4 damage to him, and he went back and slaughtered them as with his Fight Last ability, as well as the 2 attacks from his Blazing Maw into the one there, and ended up killing them all, wiping them all from there. They unfortunately were able to kill the Rune Smiter, though. Over here, he tried to kill that guy, but didn't really work out well for him. And he actually ended up fighting back and dealing several wounds to him. Good thing he got the 4+ ward. Otherwise, he might have been dead. This didn't actually move very far, and when we rolled the 12 dice, only 1/6 popped, so only killed one of those guys. We're gonna go ahead and roll for priority. Turn 3 for the Beastmen. They chose Reduce to Savagery, which is pick an enemy unit, and if they are affected by Ritual of a Ruin and destroyed, you'll get your battle tactic. They chose the Arch Revenant there. Did only 2 mortal wounds for the 1 Ritual Ruin, giving them down to 1, and then they shot them the rest off the board. For heroic actions, they both chose Heroic Recovery. The Magma Droth failed his. He passed his. He gained 1 wound back. They also chose to rally on the Bullgors, getting 1 back, actually. The Endless Spell was not, again, cast. They failed that. And in the movement phase, the Darkwalkers came on down there. These guys moved up here, and the Bullgors went on over there. Fyreslayers tried to redeploy, only rolled a 2 on their Magma Droth. For shooting phase, these guys again shot the guys, the Arch Revenant off the board. The rest of them went on into the dwarves on over here, killing only 1. The Bullgors charged on into there, dealt 5 mortals to the Magma Droth. He chose not to unleash Hell because he could have killed potentially 1 Bullgor. Instead, they saved it for all-out defense, which in the end was almost, he was 1 save away from living, actually. He spiked his saves. But the Bullgors were able to just destroy him at that point. They took 4 mortals, or 3 mortals back, though, from killing him with 7 wounds, and they lost 1 guy. With that, the Beasts gained their battle tactic, and 1, 2, 3 objectives for a total of 5. See what the Fyreslayers can claw back from. Fyreslayers turn 3. They chose Cunning Manoeuvre as their battle tactic, getting that guy, basically holding it still. They did Rune of Awakened Steel, getting +1 to their Rend, so they've got a additional Rend. They did Heroic Leadership on him, getting a command point. The Beastmen did Heroic Recovery on their Brayherd Shaman. Fortunately, it did not matter, as this thing came on up and it actually dealt 4 mortals to him, and he had 1 wound remaining, so it killed him. It did 1 mortal to these guys and another 2 to them as well. Fyreslayers charged on in, threw their hand axes, charged on in, killed a couple of these guys. They didn't kill anything back. They ended up making their save there. Battle shock for these guys was nothing, and they spent a command point to auto pass battle shock with them. In the end, Fyreslayers has won with their battle tactic with 2, so gaining 3 points here. We'll go into Prio, getting a tie. So Beastmen will probably continue to keep it. Beasts of Chaos, turn 4. They chose Lead the Assault. Getting a GC unit there to contest that objective, and one here to contest that one, that are within the enemy's deployment zone. They did a couple moving around. They rallied these guys again. Fought in this phase, all a defense tier, so they were only able to kill 4, I think. And then they went ahead and passed their leadership test there. Just a couple moving around bits going on, nothing too crazy for turn 4 for beasts, and they gained 5 points. Fyreslayers, turn 4. They were able to desecrate their lands by having these guys just within range of the Brayherd stone. He was able to get Prayer of Ash off on himself, but that didn't really help him. They were able to actually deal 3 wounds to him. And the -2 rend from the Herd Stone is pretty rough at this point. This was able to do 1 mortal to them, as well as 3 mortals to the unit that was here. The Fyreslayers were able to finish them off. He made his charge. He dealt 2 into them as well. Beast did an automatic CP to automatically pass their battle shock there, and Fyreslayers gained 3 points. Beast won the roll-off for priorities, so they decided to chose Desecrate their lands, being able to get it with that, or that one, or that, or any of them, really. The Bullgors moved on up. He did a Ritual of Ruin, dealt 6 mortals to the guy, Flamesmith, the Runesmith there, and was just able to kill him. Automatically ran 6 inches to get up there and gain that objective. These guys moved on up, then made a charge, getting 8 inches for their charge. They finally were able to pull this off, but it doesn't really matter, as the Bullgors kind of wiped the guys. The Volkrite Berserkers, they did fight on death, able to kill 1 as they died, but that was about it. Fyreslayers aren't going to really have much on turn 5. Fyreslayers, turn 5. They figured they could try to settle a grudge, just needs to kill a unit. Figured if they rolled well enough with this thing, they could probably kill something over there maybe, but it was a long shot, wasn't able to happen. Didn't do any mortals to the Doombull, and only killed 1 guy there as they rolled a 5 for their roll. And that would be it for the Fyreslayers turn 5, 0 points. And with that, it is a Beast of Chaos victory. They ended up getting 27 points to the Fyreslayers 18. Fyreslayers were able to get their grand strategy of keeping a invocation on the table. Beastmen were able to get their grand strategy of desecrating Brayherd. They just need a Brayherd unit to contest and control 2 objectives on the battlefield. That's about it. So pretty easy for them to do that with those. In the end, Beastmen with their strikes of Bullgors and whatnot are pretty crazy. The Magmadroth able to killing 2 units of them was actually pretty darn cool too. But that'll be it for this one.